We probably have a medial one. Doesn't mean that they're twins, but very similar. We're going to take the medial epicondyle. It's going to be a ridge, so using more of a firmer transverse palpation technique, you're going to find, number one, it's a little bit deeper and it's a lot shorter. Okay? But it's going to give us an automatic, by knowing where that is, we're going to know where our pronator originates from. But it does. It dives very quick, and then you're in the flesh tissue that you're not to the bone. So, medial supracondylar ridge. All right. Okay.
Turn around.
Oh, unnerving. Okay, common flexure tendon. And next time we copy these, I'm going to do this where they're not like that. Here's the way I need a picture to look and think at the same time. We have a common tendon and junction that comes there. So if we go just distal to this, we're going to again go a little bit transverse, and you should feel a rope-like structure. And that's going to be our tendinous junction here for the common extensors. And that rope's not going to be very long. And the way I like to do this, when we're trying to find how wide something is, instead of taking my finger off and getting my pencil and you know, going back and forth, is I find an edge, and then I'll lay one hand there. That way I don't lose that edge. Let me find the other edge. Go across that rope. Now. Yes, no.
When you're feeling for it, like when you go, is it kind of, like when you say rope, do you feel like you know, if you were to rub over a noodle or something, like your finger goes from side, is that what you're looking for?
Bingo. It's, when I say rope-like structure, it is. It's a very definite,
so like
it would be like doing something like that, okay? Rolling across something that gives you a little bit of that type of a feel. So that's, we know that that's a tendon type unit for the most part. Number one, it's inserting right into a bone. But the further distally we go, all of a sudden it starts to get a little firmer, but a little flatter. And that's going to be the start of our musculotendinous junction. So as we come out, it's going to widen out a little bit. And then as you go out, then you start getting into muscle belly. And that's where it gives you that, you know, feeling like the palm of your hand a little bit. It gives you a little more fleshy unit. But we're going to feel for where it crosses over so that we know where that musculotendinous junction is. About it. This blue pen needs to go in the trash. Oh! That's what it does. It smudges everywhere. It just runs out of the room. But I appreciate it. It's kind of like Fonzie offering Pop-Tarts the other day. Some things I just won't forget. So that is our common flexure tendon junction here. So you got the old F down there. I even, you know, we're going to follow this though as it gets into the meaty part because it's going to make some borders here too. And you can tell, follow it out. And it's a flexor. So how can I make that pop up? Alrighty. I got you. Let go. Okay. If all else fails, try to activate it. Okay? Don't say punt. If all else fails.
So the bony landmarks are hard on Sean, but the muscular anatomy is a little easy. You're a weird what?
Okay, so that's what we kind of look like for our common flexure group that's going to come across there. Hang on. Pronator teres. All right, we've got we're going to do two more. Actually, we're going to do one more, and I'll save electron. Pronator teres. What does a pronator do? It's going to pull me across. Well, we know that it originates between the medial epicondyle and up off of the medial supracondylar ridge. Well, that's a pretty good place to start, right? So, I know that it's going to course somewhere in here. And so, I'll kind of pronator and supinator, right? And if I need to make her activated, I'll say push into my hand. Now roll your arm, pronated. There you go. And I can feel it pop up. All right, relax. And we've got a couple heads of the pronator coming off, but and this is where it's a little bit different doing it on somebody else than it is yourself, okay? Because you can actually continue to make it flex on yourself and kind of feel what's going on. Okay, we're going to come across here. And so we've got our pronator, okay? It just came off there. So, just a quick refresh. Medial lateral epicondyle, they're the two things that I probably grab if I grab somebody's elbow, just on the sides. Again, go through the steps to get there, but if you have an idea where you're going, it makes it a lot easier. The humeral ridges, medial lateral supracondylar, radial head, get a real feel for that and how it will roll underneath your thumb. And I don't think we talked about another way to determine whether you're on radial head is when we roll. Now I'm going to wait till we do anterior. I'm sorry, get ahead of myself. Radial head extended out, capitulum, all the sides around it. Think about the lateral and horizontal plateaus off of the medial epicondyle, because that'll be important here in the next segment. Then we move medially. We've got our epicondyle coming off of that, the common flexor tendon, its musculotendinous junction. And you can see how it comes in. We've got big flesh down to a smaller junction. Then we've got our pronator that has a wider origin, but not quite so much that ropey feel. Those are not very good for tendinitises. They tend to happen there. The broader a tendinous unit is at its origin, the less chance that it has to garner one of the overuse type tendinitises, because you look at the physics of it. The forces are spread out over a wide space versus a little bitty area. So, okay, getting